Hey, this is Noah with Omnibuild. We're here at the Library Pavilion project here in Floyd, Virginia. And this project has been underway for weeks now. We started with site removal of trees and prep for foundation work. We then came in and did a preliminary layout, and then found with that preliminary layout that we actually wanted to shift the building a little bit to fit the site and slope a little bit better than initially proposed. So that was the first sort of shift and change, not a big one. Then we took it farther from there and we laid out our footers and dug those footers, complex on a steep slope with a creek at the bottom and difficult access. So we poured our footers and we placed our rebar precisely within those footers to get to this point where we could then pour our very complicated tall walls on this steep slope. And those walls are very complex because there's a lot of ledges to make the floor framing work, to make the structural beams work, and ultimately allow us to get up to our super cool roof framing. So for pour day, with a pump truck here and tall forms on a steep slope, there's a lot of parameters that come into play. So we've braced everything really well. We've checked all of our elevations of every ledge for the floor framing to make sure all of those heights are exactly where we need them. Then the wall steps back and it continues to go up all the way to the full height. And then it has beam pockets for the beams that are going to be in place for holding up the roof. And so there's a lot of complex parameters. And then it's also placing concrete, which tends to move everything because concrete is very heavy and it has a lot of force against the forms and everything moves and shifts. So then we need to readjust after we've placed the concrete in the forms. It's checking everything again and making sure everything is still exactly where we want it to be, so that we're just ensuring the best product and ease of construction as we move forward. This part of the process then is so key to the whole thing. I mean, you talk about a solid foundation. Well, not only is that part of it, it's also an integral part of the aesthetic of this. So the concrete corners in these columns are very much a huge design element of the project and have huge structural aspects to it that are gonna allow everything to work. We're excited to get to this phase because then we can then do a site cleanup and regrade a little bit and then shift into floor framing and an ADA ramp for accessibility, and then ultimately towards that roof framing and getting this structure dry and kind of moving towards, completion. It's just unique and different. We're lucky that we get to do these unique projects as often as we do, and right here in our little hometown at the public library right here in Floyd, and people are going to get to enjoy this space. We're moving into a fun part of this project where we get to start cleaning things up instead of making more messes, and people get to start seeing really what's happening here. So subscribe and come back and check out the progress here.